Man, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. I just had this real strange dream. It was about counseling. And, you go into counseling, and the counselor is always telling you to make a bunch of I statements. Stop saying you. And, and I realized that, every time an I statement is made, an opportunity is created for an attack on the ego. So, if I say, I like this, then that's easily, can be changed into an ad hominem attack. And, like I said, it's 6 o'clock in the morning, so I'm not sure if I'm going to, get all these things out. But, I think counselors sometimes don't realize that, that, these couples that are fighting are not even fighting over a thing. One couple is actually, trying to press as hard as they can to destroy the other person's confidence. And, to do that, they really need to attack the ego. So every time, the counselor says, oh, make I statements, all the counselor is doing is training the, like, in a normal world with two normal people, two people, expressing their own needs, and if two people expressing their own needs works great if the other party is willing to assist. But when one person is so fragile and so underconfident in themselves and, doesn't trust themselves, let alone anyone else, that they start trying to break down anyone around them who is in any way confident, because it threatens their humanity. Being around someone who's reasonable literally threatens it literally threatens their confidence, their self, their belief in themselves. So when they have to attack, it's usually ad hominem. They have to attack the ego, not the situation, because a stable person can push through any situation just with their confidence, I believe. But in order to have that confidence, you have to align yourself with the I am. And that's one thing in the Bible. Moses comes in and he goes to the burning bush, and Jesus says, I am that I am. Like the base of everything, of consciousness, before humans have a chance to screw it up. I remember there was this class that I went to, and the first thing that they said, first thing, they had everybody in the whole class say it, and over and over, maybe 5 or 10 times, so that you definitely knew this was your position. You weren't coming to this class just to learn things. You were coming to this class to change who you were. And it was I am the field sanitation officer. We had to say it 10 times. So for that position, very confident, very sure, everybody in the class knows. If anybody asks, that's who we are. We are the field sanitation officers, and if anybody, doesn't know what they're doing, we went to the class, we have the information, we know it. So, it's the I am. And if we don't know it, if we don't know who we are, if we don't know the I am, then, we're the ones that are required to go and find out, because we're the ones responsible for the information. And if somebody else gets in trouble, no, they don't get in trouble, because they didn't go to the class, they didn't become the I ams of this situation, and, they're not the ones that are responsible for the failure. We, however, if they screw up and we don't catch it, then we're responsible for that failure. So, the great I am is the pureness of confidence. So when Moses is at the burning bush saying, hey, I got a speech, and, who am I going to say that sent me? And, God says, tell him I am sent you. So, what does Moses go in and do? I mean, they start trying to break down his confidence. He comes in and he's like, I'm here on behalf of the purest, the greatest I am of ever. Like, I am here because of the I am. And, and he's aligned in himself, knowing who he is, knowing what he's there for, knowing what he expects the outcome to be. And no matter what, he's not going to sway from that because he's the I am. Because he's aligned, because Moses is aligned with the I am. And, when you're not aligned with the I am and you start expressing things like, I want a new car, I want peace in my house. I mean, just anything with I want, all of a sudden becomes an opening and an opportunity for somebody to disparage not you, but what you want, because the want becomes an extension of you. So if I want a BMW and other people hate BMWs, they don't have to disparage me, they can disparage BMWs, and it's as if they were actually disparaging me. Now, some people who don't like BMWs aren't going to understand that. They're going to say, hey, that's crazy, but, anything that you do like, consider that. Like, if somebody starts disparaging it, it's as if they're disparaging you. And so, I don't know, this is like 8 minutes I've been talking straight through. And that's all I got.